Hello, friends. Did we just zoom by another week of school? Yes, we did. Let me tell you all about it. Welcome if you're new to my channel. My name is Mariely Sanchez and I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. It's been a while since I've actually posted a YouTube video. I have been vlogging every week, all of April, pretty much all of May as well. And I just haven't been able to post a video because I have been sick on and off. It's been a really long, pretty much 2-month journey that I have gotten sick with one thing and then it led to another thing and then it led to the latest thing. But I want to give you a little update and then let you know how our day went today. So last week, Monday, May 16th, I came to school and I wasn't feeling well. I actually woke up with a slight fever. It wasn't very big, so I took something for it. I didn't think much of it because if you have been watching my previous vlogs, right before that, I had been diagnosed with the flu and I had gotten back to school. So I really didn't think much of that fever. So I came to school, and as soon as I came to school, I looked at my messages and I noticed that one of the parents had let me know that one of her children had tested positive for COVID. So I went to tell my principal and I let her know, hey, I'm not feeling well and this just happened. She's like, well, if you're able to, just stay and see how you do and after school get tested. So that's exactly what I did. It wasn't a very easy day. I felt really sick. Like my sickness started getting worse and worse throughout the day. I finally went home right after the students were dismissed. By the way, I did wear my mask, my KN95 mask, and I maintained social distance away from people just to make sure. But I did go to after school to urgent care. I got a PCR test done, and you know those take time, so I didn't get my result for that until the very next day, like in the evening. And I went home and I took an at-home test, and that thing, I didn't even need to wait the full like 20 minutes to see the results. It was positive right off the bat. So I got COVID. It's been 2 years since we started this whole pandemic, and in all those 2 years, I've never gotten COVID until now. I am double vaccinated, so I'm thankful that we were able to get vaccinated because I feel like me being high risk because of my asthma and other underlying health conditions, I'm high risk when it comes to COVID. But I'm thankful that because of my vaccines, it never affected my breathing. My oxygen levels were always normal, so I'm very thankful, but I did get very, very sick. And today's my first day back. So that was last week, Monday. So last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, my students had a sub. I think one of those days they were split up, but the other days they had a sub, and I provided sub plans every single day. So yeah, while I was sick, I was making sub plans on a daily basis and sending it to my team along with whatever was needed for those so that the students had activities to do. And yesterday, I got ready to come to school. I thought I was going to come because I had passed my quarantine period and I didn't have a fever since like last week. But as soon as I was getting ready, I got super nauseous to the point that I'm like, I don't even know how I can function right now. So I had to let the school know that I wasn't feeling well. So I took another day yesterday and I rested. So today was my first day back with the students, and I have a lot of stuff to go over and still teach. Yeah, we have 10 days of school left, and I can't believe I'm sort of in denial that we only have 10 days of school left. There's so many things that I still want to teach and so many things that I need to organize and put away and take care for the end of the school year procedures. Like we just came out of our faculty meeting for the end of the school procedures, and it was a very long meeting, so it's been a very long day. So all of that can feel very overwhelming, along with still recovering and still not feeling 100%, but being here. But I'm trying my best, and I cannot believe this year, oh my God, the school year has been so challenging on so many levels. I feel like it's been more challenging than the past 2 years combined. And one of those was, finishing the school year off because of a pandemic virtually. The second one was fully virtually online, and this year fully in person. But boy, has it been challenging. So that's what I wanted to give you an update on. And right now, I'm going to let you know what are some of the learning activities that went on today in the classroom. And I do want to say, I know the students are feeling it. It's 10 days left of school. And their behavior is expected. They're like getting, excited for the summer. And, sometimes they don't want to work, especially since they haven't had me here and they haven't had their regular routine. So today was a challenge, but I think they finally understood that I mean business and we have a lot of things to get through. So let me show you what we ended up doing today. So when I last was with the students, we had just read the Great Energy Debate. Yes, I am behind because I have been sick. So this is actually not the current reading unit that we're on, but you know what? I want to wrap this up so that I can, wrap up everything else. So with this today, I wanted to make sure the students had done their assignments correctly. So we went over the find the text evidence questions that are on the margin at each of these pages and have the students do their annotations as guided by those questions. We also went over the vocabulary words and the Latin and Greek prefixes. We went over ask and answer questions along with the genre and the text features for that genre. And we went over central and relevant ideas by going over this example and then completing this one as it pertains to one paragraph on another page of the passage. And then the students answered this question for that particular passage using the little sentence starters here and some reminders on grammar connections. Then because the passage was mostly talking about the benefits and drawbacks of using gasoline as an energy source and wind energy as an energy source, it was a perfect opportunity to go over the text structure of that particular passage. So I did give them a Venn diagram graphic organizer so that they can compare gasoline and wind energy. So this is the Venn diagram organizer that I gave the students. It had gasoline on the top and wind energy along with the title of the passage and how gasoline was different from wind and vice versa, and how they were both the same. Then it was time for math, and in math, I had to have them take their chapter 13 topic assessment. Is the last topic assessment that they have not been able to take because I haven't been here, but I finally gave it to them, and I was able to give students feedback as they were completing the assessment. So let me give you a glimpse of that assessment, well, my version of it, so that you can see the types of questions that students were answering as it pertains to area and perimeter. I do want to preface this by saying I have taught them all of this. We have reviewed it even before the FSA. It's just I never gave them this particular test. So these are the questions, and one thing I like to do after I take the test along with them, I go through all the questions and I put all the answers here so it's easier for me to score their test as they finish. So here are the different questions and my little solutions and how I figured it out so that you can have an idea of the different ways that I go over this test. And of course, as soon as everybody is done with it, I still have a few students that need to finish. I will debrief this test with them so that we can go over maybe some of those questions that a lot of them probably didn't understand so that everybody has a better understanding on this particular concept. So of course, that was the bulk of our morning, and then it was time for lunch. After lunch, I was talking to my administrator about an incident that happened yesterday. So that took up some of our, what was supposed to be our free time or recess. So by the time we made it back into the classroom, oh boy, hold on, I'm running out of air. Give me a second. I am talking way too fast. So by the time we made it back into the classroom, it was like 10 minutes before specials. So I just continued to check some of the tasks that the students had finished, and then I took them to music. And then after music, we had social studies, which the students were so happy to do because they haven't been able to do a social studies lesson with me in a while. I don't know if I have gone over this with you before, but in my schedule, I don't do social studies and science every day. I do one or the other. And what I do is I flip-flop. So on 1 week, I'll do 3 days of social studies, 2 days of science. And then the following week, I'll do 3 days of science, 2 days of social studies. So it's like I'm teaching each subject for 5 straight days, even though I have the weekend in between between some of those subjects. So today we were looking at one of the chapters that we have not finished. I had the students read it on their own when I wasn't here, but I wanted to make sure we go over it together and we do some notes on the different groups of people that have contributed to the state of Florida. So this is the chapter right here, and what we did is I went over the Native American contributions and I gave the students this note sheet, and I already did the first column for them so it could be like a model. So they had to take notes on that section along with what contributions each group had, and then add little icons or pictures that talk a little bit or share what contributions they did for the state. So we have been talking about the Hispanic Americans. We did read the section for Hispanic Americans, which is these 2 pages right here. And we left off by having the students start to take notes on them. And tomorrow we'll discuss what will be a good symbol to represent the contributions of Hispanic Americans. And then we'll do the same thing for European Americans, African Americans, and Asian Americans. So there you have it. That is our rundown of today's day of learning. Tomorrow we will continue. Tomorrow in reading, we're going to go over the anchor text, Energy Island, which the students were supposed to read. They have some questions to answer on that. We're going to do another review of math. I'm getting them ready for 5th grade, so we'll be doing the getting ready for 5th grade lessons in Go Math, and we're gonna make sure we wrap up chapter 9 in social studies. So please stay tuned and see how the rest of the week goes. But right now, it's late. Not that late, but it's late for me. I'm exhausted. I need to just go home and lay down because even though I'm off the quarantine period, you know, if you've had COVID, it takes a while for your body to fully get back to like feeling 100%. So a lot of rest, a lot of liquids. It's very important. So tomorrow is another day, so I will see you then. Hello everyone, it is the end of the day on Wednesday, and today we started the morning by having the students finish that Venn diagram graphic organizer that I shared with you yesterday. And I also gave them a reading passage that goes over the same topic that we have been discussing in this unit and the same reading skill. And I'll show you that in a moment. I don't have the agenda on the board. I really haven't been putting it on since I got back. Maybe I'll get back into it, but you know, there's only 9 days left in the school year, so we'll see. So while the students were working on that, I also decided to make sure that the students that haven't finished their AP3 iReady Math Diagnostic to work on it. I had 9 students that hadn't finished. And right now there's 3 students that haven't finished, and those students are about 50% complete. So hopefully tomorrow they'll be able to finish that. And I'm very proud of all my students because they have been making great, amazing gains in math and of course in reading as well, which they finished in the previous weeks. So let me go ahead and show you the reading passage. And after we did that, we had our recess time, which is our snack time on Wednesdays. We have a little snack time since our lunch is much later. It's at 12:35. So we had our snack time around 10:30. And then after that, it was time for math. And in math, I introduced them to the getting ready for 5th grade lessons. Today, we did some simple lessons. One was on adding and subtracting, or 2 lessons actually, adding and subtracting dollars and cents. And I showed them a vocabulary video on decimals and also a video from the Rapping Mathematician, which is very old, but it's about the little itty bitty dot. The little itty bitty dot, just line out the dots and give it all you got. So basically having the students remember that when you add and subtract decimals, to make sure the decimal points are lined up and then just add and subtract as normal. And then, of course, we went over the order of operations, which I also showed another vocabulary video to remind them of the process of order of operations, which I also wrote on the board to remind them, and we worked on some practice problems. Then I went ahead and took one of their practice sheets and put the problems, which they were already working on a Gimkit, and we played a couple of rounds of Capture the Flag. So that was the highlight of today. The students absolutely loved it. So let me give you a couple of glimpses of those assignments. The passage that we're reading this morning is Energy from the Sea. So I just copied it like this to save on paper. And then on the back, they had questions. And the questions talked about visualizing what the author was talking about, the power of water, and also connecting the details in the text with the sequence of events, and why the author includes the sidebar, which is right here, and it talks about how a dam works. So that was the passage that they were working on this morning. In math, this was our first getting ready for 5th grade lesson, which was on add dollars and cents. So we talked about it and the students had these problems to complete. And then we also went over subtract dollars and cents, so pretty similar. And they had these problems to complete. And then we went over the order of operations, and the students had these problems to complete along with another sheet. And here is that practice sheet right here. So these problems right here on the top, along with these 2 word problems, the students worked on so that they can practice doing the order of operations. And I put these first 12 problems right inside of a Gimkit, which we went ahead and played a couple of rounds of. Now, the format that we played was capture the flag. So here's a little bit more information about it. And basically, the students answer questions, and as they answer questions, they earn energy, which allows them to move freely around the game board. And they can go to the opposing team and capture the flag and try to make it over to our team so we can score points, or they can defend the flag, preventing other people from taking it. But basically, as they're doing all that, they need to answer the questions to gain energy points so they can take the flag or defend it. It was a lot of fun, and the students were highly engaged and really motivated to work on these problems and practice the order of operations. And that is the end of the day for today. I do have an appointment to get to, and yeah, there's a lot in my heart right now, but like I'm trying to still process all the things that happened yesterday in the very tragic event that happened in Texas. So my heart goes out to everyone in Texas and Uvalde and the teachers and the students. It's still very hard to talk about, but much love to all the students and teachers, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, it is now the end of the day on Thursday, and I just wanted to give you a couple of highlights of what happened this morning, or today actually I should say. So this morning I had the students start on a writing activity on an event that has influenced them. So I want to show you my example that I showed them at first, and then what I created while they were working, so that they had 2 examples from me. And I want to say a lot of them finished and some of them just need to wrap up a couple of different things. And while the students were working on that, I had my last 3 students finish off their diagnostic, and they did a pretty great job. So I'm very proud of all my students. So we're done with iReady Diagnostic. I am happy to say we are done with state testing and iReady testing for this school year. And I can't believe there's only 8 days of school left. So we have tomorrow, which happens to be my birthday, and I am coming to school. So I'm very excited for tomorrow. And we have this long 3-day weekend since Monday is Memorial Day. And next week we have 4 school days. Wednesday is our awards ceremony, which I just finished sending information on that to the parents, and I just finished submitting all my awards paperwork to my assistant principal, so that is good to go for next week. Tomorrow I'll be printing some additional awards that I am giving to my students, and I'm actually also going to have them complete some online forms. One will be for the 1-word activity, which I do every year. It's like my end of the year gift for my students. So what they're going to do is, for every student in our classroom, they're going to choose 1 word that best describes that person, a positive word, a positive trait, and then I use all of the words that they compile for each person to create a word cloud. So more on that later. Probably next week I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. Maybe I'll even do a little tutorial so that you can see how I come up with it and I finish it up and I put it all together. The other thing that I want the students to complete, hopefully tomorrow, is superlatives. So I do want to do some superlative certificates, and I want to have the students vote on the different categories for superlatives. So I'll have a couple of different categories in there so the students can write who they think best fits each category. So that is what I have coming up. I know that I kind of went a little bit into the future, and I meant to explain to you what happened today. So backtracking a little bit, because sometimes I go on a tangent. So while the students finished their iReady Diagnostic, the rest of the class worked on that writing assignment that I'll show you now. And then after that, we read a story from our Reading Wonders book. We went over some of the questions. Some of the students told me they had already done it, and I did eventually find a paper, so that's great. And tomorrow we'll just review the parent selection, compare it, and they'll take the reading assessment for that unit. And then we went ahead and started math. So today we did 2 more, getting ready for 5th grade lessons, which I'll also show you on division. And tomorrow for math, we'll start with the Gimkit activity since we ran out of time today and we couldn't do it, so they practiced those division problems. So that's where we are. And then the rest of the day was kind of a blur because my specials were canceled and I needed to make sure that I finished the awards papers. So it was more like a catch up and pickles kind of afternoon. All right, so now let me show you that writing activity. This is the example that I showed them that I made years ago. It's basically on a white sheet of paper. You just fold it twice so that you have 4 quadrants. And on this box in the top, you go ahead and brainstorm the events. So the topic for this one was events that have influenced me. So I wrote a couple events, and this is the one that I circled, which is the one that I ended up writing about. And I drew a picture to go along with it. This represents my grandparents' house. And the one word that sticks out from this story is worthy. So I went ahead and I shared this example with the students to get them started. Then as the students worked on their assignment on the document camera, I started modeling how I would do it if I were to do the assignment again. So I tried to brainstorm a couple of different ones, like moving to Miami, having my mom teach me to draw, and learning to ride a bike. And the one I chose was on my mom teaching me how to draw. So I wrote about it here, and after I wrote about it, actually I drew my picture first and then I wrote about it. I gave the students that option to draw the picture first, kind of picture that moment, and then write about it. And then after that, I kind of, along with my students, started to think about what word stands out from that particular event, and it's the word artist. So this is my second example, which I created today, and I'm very happy with how it came out. And it gave the students an idea on how they should proceed with theirs. All in all, I think the students were enjoying this activity, and I can't wait to read their stories. I think tomorrow I'm going to give them an opportunity to share, whoever wants to share, so that we can have a little author celebration during our writing time. So moving on, I'm not going to show you the story that we read because of time, and it's just Energy Island. Is about the island of Samsø, which is in Denmark, which has gone completely on renewable energy sources. So they no longer rely on fossil fuels or electricity from the mainland. And they basically use, most of it is wind power, but they also use biofuel and hydropower. So it's very cool to see that an actual place has been able to be independent of non-renewable resources. So that is a really cool thing. So we talked about it, and tomorrow we'll kind of wrap that up so that we can take our test, and next week is another week. So then in math, we were looking at dividing by multiples of 10. So looking at patterns and helping students figure out how to divide when we have a divisor of 2, but it's a multiple of 10. And then with that, we also did model division with 2-digit divisors. So we worked on doing that using place value pictures. And then on the back, the students practiced, and I also showed them that they can still use the grid method to divide. We're just moving each number over, and we're just working with a 2-digit divisor. So that's what we worked on, and these are the 2 assignments that the students will have questions on for the Gimkit that I will create tomorrow. And that is pretty much the highlights that I've had for today. Like I mentioned, the afternoon was kind of a blur because I lost specials, so I'm actually very tired. And I wrapped up my awards, which I needed to do. So I'm going to grab my things and go home. Tomorrow is another day, and I'm very excited because it's my birthday. And I get to be in the classroom with my students to celebrate it. So I'll see you then. Hello everyone, it's the end of the day on Friday and it's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. My camera is about to die, so I'm gonna make this really quick. I got so many presents from my students today and so much love. I did record a clip of the bags of presents that they gave me, and one student did come with balloons for me. Here are the balloons, they're so pretty, as well as a set of flowers for me. I got a lot of flowers today. And the student also gave me a fruit tart from Publix, which is right here. I also had a fellow colleague and teacher bring me some munchkins this morning as a celebration birthday gift. And it's been a great day. This morning I had the students work on their just one word activity. I put it in Microsoft Forms. I put it in Teams for them to easily get the link and fill it out. I'll link it down below, my just one word end of the year activity. I'll talk a little bit more about it next week, but it is a free resource in my TPT store. So go ahead and grab it for yourself if you're interested. Basically, the students choose one positive character trait or adjective that describes each of their classmates, and then I use it to create a word cloud with the student's name in the center and all those adjectives around that student's name. And it's a little keepsake. I put it inside of a Dollar Tree document frame, and I do give it to them on our awards ceremony, which will be next Wednesday. So then after that, I created the form for superlatives, and I started to have the students vote on it. And not all students finished. I still have about 8 more that need to answer that one, so I can finish up those awards on Tuesday since our award ceremony is on Wednesday. And I was working today. I should have left an hour ago because it's my birthday, but I was recreating my superlative awards. So I'll give you a glimpse of 30 of the awards that I have created. I'm going to have a total of 38, but I'll finish the rest on Tuesday because Monday is a holiday. And then after that, we played a Gimkit game reviewing the division problems that I talked to you about yesterday. And then after that, it was a good rest of the day. We watched some Flocabulary videos. We talked about Memorial Day, which is why they have a day off on Monday. And that's pretty much our day. It's been a really fun and exciting day, and I can't wait to continue to celebrate my birthday with my family after school. I am going to get some freebies. I'm going to stop by my local Publix because I can choose between ice cream or a bar cake. Then I'm going to go to Chipotle because I do have my free chips and guac. And then I'm going to go to Nothing Bundt Cakes, and I'm going to get my free buntini for today. Then I'm going to go to Starbucks, get my free Starbucks drink, go to Panera, get my free pastry, and go to Auntie Anne's Pretzels in the mall to get my free pretzel. Yes, I'm planning all of those stops right now. So let me show you the awards that I have created so far. And I'm thinking of putting them in my TPT store once I'm finished. So let me know if you will be interested. So right now they are pretty blank because I am going to print them on awards paper, which is right here. And I'm going to put one of these gold seals at the bottom corner of it so that you see whatever I show you on PowerPoint right now will be printed in the center, and it'll look really nice. So here are the awards that I have so far. Most cheerful, super kind student, most friendly, most athletic. I have 2, one for boys and one for girls. Amazing artist. I also have 2, one for boy and one for girl. Best sense of humor, most positive thinker, always happy, peacemaker, most helpful, most caring, most hilarious, most techie, most responsible, most respectful, most honest, most cooperative, born leader, heart of gold, remarkable reader, super scientist, wonderful writer, magnificent mathematician, powerful problem solver, best handwriting, social studies superstar, most encouraging student, Best Manners Award, Outstanding Organization, and that is where I finish for today. I'm looking forward to having a really fun award ceremony on Wednesday, and I'll make sure that I'll give you some of the highlights when that happens. And that, my friends, is all I have for you for this week. I am so excited that I'm going to have a nice long birthday weekend because I'm going to still celebrate, and I will catch you up next week. So if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello, dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.